Let me guess, you've clicked on this video because your toddler or child isn't eating. They're not trying new foods, they're not taking bites of what you prepared, and you feel lost. You've tried everything. You've tried bribing with dessert or something fun, you've tried pressure, you've tried making them stay at the table, but none of it seems to be working. That's because none of these are the right techniques to try. You might think they're right and they're going to make a big difference, but in all actuality, they're the opposite of what we're going to be doing. Hi, I'm Sarah Schlichter. I'm a registered dietitian. I have 3 kids, a 4th on the way, and I'm an expert in family feeding and family nutrition. And today I'm going to share one simple tip with a bonus tip thrown in, so make sure you watch until the end. One simple tip that's going to change the dynamic of your family meals. You've probably called your child a picky eater, right? This is a term we actually don't want to use. Secret's out, right? We call our kids picky eaters. They overhear this. That becomes their identity. Oh, mom says I'm a picky eater, so I don't need to try that, right? It's almost bringing them down in a way rather than encouraging them to try something because they're picky. So instead, we can call them curious eaters, selective eaters, and sometimes I'll even say beginner eaters. I'm going to try to avoid using the term picky eaters because while it's easy to use, it's everywhere and ubiquitous in our feeding culture, it's not actually telling the correct story. And I talk about this a lot on my podcast. I have a podcast called Managing Mealtime Madness, which is all about feeding kids and families. Make sure you subscribe to that. The link will be in the comments. So if your child takes one look at their dinner plate, right, pushes it away and says, I'm not hungry. This is a familiar experience. Many parents come to me with this struggle. I've been there myself. We are all learning throughout this experience. One of the main reasons I see for this is there's too much food on the plate. A lot of parents think giving kids more food is going to encourage them to eat more, when in reality, it's the exact opposite. Especially for beginner selective eaters, right? A huge portion can feel very intimidating. Think about it even as an adult. If you go to a restaurant and you want to try something new, you probably just want to start with an appetizer size or a bite-sized portion before you order the whole entree, right? You want to make sure you like it. It's the same with kids. When we're serving them large portions, adult-sized portions, it's too much for them. It's too overwhelming, especially if it is a new food. So the one simple change, serve smaller portions. Now, how much do you serve? We are going to get to that. But serving smaller portions can make such a big difference in your whole mealtime experience. Smaller portions help kids eat better, not less. And no, this is not about restricting. We don't want to restrict our kids. They can always ask for more. In fact, that's the goal. We want our kids to tune into their bodies and say, am I still hungry? Do I still want more food? This is the intuitive eating, right? It's the dream. We want our kids to be great eaters, curious eaters, try new foods. But to get there, we really have to approach it, let them approach it with curiosity. It has to be less of us saying, you eat this, and more of them being willing to try it on their own. I'm going to link another video here where I talk about 5 tips for picky eaters. And in that, we talk about the division of responsibility, which is really important to understand as a parent or someone doing the feeding. So I urge you to go check that video out to understand that more. We also talk about the importance of a safe food, a comfort food that your child knows and has eaten before and will likely eat again. Watch that video to understand that. Another reason we want to serve smaller portions is we really want to reduce the pressure that kids feel. When kids see a large plate of food, they might shut down. They might lose interest completely. They might feel pressure to finish it or just refuse the meal entirely before even trying it because it's too intimidating and too much. Instead, if we start with a small portion size and they like it, they can ask for more. More importantly, if with that small portion size we've paired it with a safe comfort food, the child is more likely to give it a try because they see something that they've had before on the plate. We never want to serve all new foods all at one time, especially to younger eaters. Small portions are less scary, more manageable, and they really create a sense of success. If a kid takes a bite and wants more, they start to feel better about themselves. Oh, I can do this. I've really like this flavor. What is this food? I want to try it again. All these things are things we want to encourage. So how much food should you serve, right? We're saying serve smaller, but what does that really mean? Of course, some of this will be age dependent, but for toddlers, a tablespoon is enough. Even starting with a teaspoon of something can be enough. Maybe you're serving lentils and they've never even seen or heard of lentils. Start with a teaspoon, just a few. You can even just start with a few tiny lentils and they'll say, what is this? Maybe they'll be curious about it. Maybe you talk about it in a fun way. What do these remind you of? Do these look like little bugs? Can we put them in our sauce? Talking about the food in a curiosity way, a fun way that invokes these questions from kids can be really helpful. Okay, so now you're serving smaller portions. Great. What if they ask for more? Try not to get too excited, right? We don't want to show our emotions on our face. If they ask for more, that's a great step. They're developing confidence and trust. What if they only want more bread or strawberries and they don't want to try the vegetables? That's normal, right? They've already established trust and safety with those foods. We want them to trust us, so keep serving them. We want them to know that there's enough food. However, keeping the other new food on the plate is important too because it's exposure, even if they don't try it. Even if they push that 1 tablespoon of lentils away, you've exposed them. And maybe next time they'll get a little more curious when they say, oh yeah, I remember mom served this last week with pasta sauce, but today it's with rice and I really like rice. Maybe I'll try 1 little lentil on my spoon with the rice. The goal is repeated exposure without pressure. And ironically, I think you'll find this. Kids are more inclined to try a food when we're not pressuring them to say, eat 1 more bite. Make sure you try that, right? We just sit back. We're eating the same thing as them. They're watching us eat it. They have a small portion that feels manageable and they can dig in. So tonight, I want you to try this. Instead of piling more food onto your toddler's plate, start small. If they're hungry, we want them to be in tune with that hunger and ask for more. You might be surprised at how much more willing your child is to engage with the food. If this video was helpful, make sure you subscribe for more realistic feeding advice and to be notified when the next video goes live. Also, feel free to explore the various kid-friendly recipes we have on our blog, Bucket List Tummy. And again, listen to the podcast for more down-to-earth feeding advice from parents and experts. Tell me in the comments, are you overfilling your child's plate right now? Knowledge is power, so try this little switch and let us know if it makes a difference.